What's good, y'all? It's Chris, and I know it's been a while, but I'm taking a trip to Oregon soon, and this time it's gonna be a little different than the past times that I went. So this time I'm going and I'm bringing an entirely new kit from what I had before. Before I was using the Fujifilm X-H2, and I traded all that in for something different. So before I get into gear, I want to do a little backstory. So I was using my Fuji X-H2 for a long time, for probably about 5 years, and it was a good camera, but I felt like Fujifilm, okay, this is going to be controversial, but I feel like Fujifilm makes you a worse photographer. Dare I said it. I'll make a full video on that later, but for now I pretty much sold all my Fuji gear, don't own it no more, and now I'm going to show you guys what I traded all that for. So I got the Nikon D810 paired with the f-mount 24 to 70, which is my favorite focal length of all time. I love this lens so much, just how versatile it is, the things that I can capture with it, portraits, wide, medium, all that good stuff. This is the lens that usually never leaves my camera, and I love it. So this is pretty much the setup that I'm taking to Oregon with me. This thing is a beast. I'm excited to try it, and it's pretty much a photography focused camera. Like, it does video, but no one's using the D810 for video, right? So this is going to be strictly for just photography. I kind of got away from a lot of video, and to be fair, my only video camera that I really have now is my GoPro Hero 13, which, if you guys seen in the before, I've made some insanely cinematic videos with it. So I think I'm going to continue to take this camera with me, or video action cam, whatever you guys want to call it, with me, just because it's so small. Put it in my pocket, I can just take it anywhere. It could get banged up a little bit, it's weather sealed. It's an amazing little action cam. I love it. It's done me good. I know people love it, they hate it, but for me it does everything I needed to do. I have a lot of lens mods for it, so I can capture a ton. So that's pretty much going to be my main video camera until I probably save up for the Nikon ZR or something. That's going to be my cinema camera once I save up for that, but until then, this little guy is going to be the star of the channel for a little while. But anyways, like I was saying, the Nikon D810 is a beast. 36 megapixels, I believe, full frame. Yeah, it takes up a little more space on the hard drive, but it is so worth it because the quality and detail you get out of this is insane, especially knowing that it's a 10-plus-year-old camera. Oh man. And the reason why I got this camera and traded in the Fuji, I'm going to get into deeper in a different video, so stay tuned for that. That's in the work in progress. But yeah, so let me tell you some of the other lenses that I got with this camera. The lens that I'm taking with me is the 85mm. So I've been using this lens a lot for detail work, and just obviously the 85 is just the legendary portrait lens, and that's pretty much what I've been using this for. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna have any shoots out there because it's not till a couple months, so who knows, maybe I'll get one out there and try some stuff out, and I hope I could. But besides the point, the 85 is amazing. Here's some of the pictures I took with it. This thing is so sharp. It's fairly light, but honestly I don't complain about weight when it comes to cameras and lenses, because it's not that bad unless you're doing video. Weight doesn't really matter for photos. Like, just go to the gym, build some muscle, and it's going to be a lot easier, I promise. So next up I have the nifty 50. So this was the first lens that I got from my D810, and it has done me no wrong. I love this lens so much. It's light, it can just fit in pretty much all my bags fairly easy without taking up any space at all, and it is extremely sharp. And then the one thing about this lens, so I know it's a 50, another portrait lens, but I do use it as a 35 pretty much. I shoot kind of more wider with this just because I have not been able to find a 35mm for a good price yet, or that's not insanely screwed up. Like every time I find a 35mm that's for a decent price, there's so much wrong with it. I'm like, I do not want it. So until I can find a 35 that is in good shape for a good price, this is going to be I'm using the 50 as my storytelling lens and as my 35 lens for now. My 24 to 70, it does the storytelling too, but when I need it to get a little tighter, a little closer, a little more depth, the 50 is what it is. So let me talk a little bit of why I traded my XH2 for a 10-year plus old camera. And the reason being is because, well, first let me just say, my XH2, it took me to some amazing places. It was really reliable for the most part. I'll get into that right now. It went through like rainstorms, it lasted extreme cold conditions, and it never backed down, and it always found a way to get me the shots. Again, it wasn't the lightest camera with the kit that I had on at the time, but I don't mind a little weight, and most people shouldn't. Like, just work out, get stronger, it won't bother you as much. But with that being said, the video on it was amazing. Like, I loved the way that the videos came out on that camera. But the thing is, it overheated a lot, and I did not like that. I know that there's a fan you can get for it, extra 200, 100 to add a fan attachment to it when it should have already been in there to begin with. And it would heat up in the worst moments. I was at a wedding one time, almost messed up the entire wedding twice because of its overheating. And I know that you can turn off like that setting where it doesn't turn the camera off, but there's still so many flaws with that, because once you stop recording, you can't turn it, you can't continue to record until you until it cools down. And I just hated that. I couldn't stand it. That got me so mad. And it wouldn't even be in that bad of conditions. It would be in regular heat conditions, I guess you can say, like regular California weather, and it was just overheating. Even in pictures it would overheat, in video it would overheat, and I just couldn't take it anymore, and it just drove me crazy. And I said in the earlier video that Fuji makes you a worse photographer. So let me just elaborate on that a little bit. So I don't mean people who use it are bad photographers at all. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, because of its film simulations, you're forced to shoot in JPEG, and I get why, but it kind of, and I get it, like, it's to get you the film look, which you can easily just recreate through editing. And I guess it's there because people don't want to edit, they just want to get it straight out of camera. But I realized really quick that even though I got that film look, I still wanted to edit a little bit. I still wanted to add my own touch to it, so it didn't just look like all that, which I guess I could have just shot raw and added that to begin with. But I don't know, there was just, I just didn't really like that. And I was shooting JPEG and using the film sims for so long that I feel like it did make me a worse photographer, because once I traded all of that in because of all the flaws that I mentioned, and I got the D810, even just shooting regular and just looking in the back of the camera, I felt like things were overexposed. I felt like things were too dark. I felt like this doesn't look like how I pictured in my head. And I know with the XH2 and the film sims, you can look in back in the camera and be mind blown, because it's like, this is pretty much the final edit. and or close to it. And when you're looking through a full frame camera with shooting raw, you don't get to see that final edit. You just see, like, you know, the raw file. But what I love about the D810 is that it's bare bones. It doesn't have all these fancy bells and whistles to it. You don't get that whole eye detection, that lobster eye tracking detection. You don't get none of that. Like, you use straight just skills. You just use your viewfinder. It's not a electronic viewfinder, which I hated in the beginning. By the way, you guys hear anything in the background, they're doing construction, so hopefully that's not too much of a bother. But yeah, it was some getting used to, because I'm used to be able to see the scene change as my settings change while I'm looking through the viewfinder. It was a little hard to get used to in the beginning, but that's just a skill issue. That's just my fault. But once I got used to all that, once I got used to having to do more of the photography work, more of the focus work, more of finding out where your cursor is going to be, and then just taking the picture, doing the editing, it made me feel like I was actually in control. Because a lot of new cameras these days have so much technology and all this AI stuff, smoothing out the skins and all that. It's like the camera is really, you're not really doing much. The camera's doing like all the work for you. You're just pushing a button. And this one, I just feel like I'm doing the work now. I'm like creating the art that I want to create. And I know it probably sounds dumb, it probably doesn't make sense, but hopefully it does. But anyways, that's just a quick summarizing of why I switched, mainly because of the overheating. But I am so happy with the D810 and the quality of work that I'm able to pull out of it, that this is the camera that I want to stick with for a very long time. And if I do upgrade, I want to get to D850. So I know that I'm going backwards, but I just love it so much because it doesn't have all this AI and all this fancy work to it. Like, this is like the closest I feel like I'm really gonna get to film, as in their bare bones, than to actually doing film. And I really like it because when you edit, you can still get that film look. So to me, it's a win. I love the camera, and this is gonna be what I'm gonna be using for a very long time, I hope. And I got it for a good price. The lenses, since everyone's selling them right now, they're get them for a steal. And DSLR in 2026 honestly might be the move. It's cheaper, it's fun, and they're built to last. They're built like tanks. A lot of these new cameras, they're all tiny and dainty. Anybody with a decent sized hand, it just cuffs the entire camera, and it sucks. They don't have a lot of things in them, just because they're just filled with 8K raw footage, 200 megapixels, 20 different type of eye detections. You got fly detection and airplane detection, eye detection, seahorse detection. It's like, you don't need all that. Like, you really don't. Like, just move the little dot around, get to where you want to do, and take shots. And DSLRs, to me, they're just built to last. They're tanks. They feel amazing in your hands. They have some weight to them. And I just love the quality that I'm getting out of my D810. So, long story short, that's what I'm sticking with for a very long time. I'm having more fun with this than I think I've ever had with the Fuji. So, I'm Nikon Team Potato for now, and that ain't changing anytime soon. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try to get on this a lot more on that Oregon trip. I'm gonna vlog everything, get some dope footage, and show you guys that gear ain't really that important. I proved that a couple times with the GoPro Hero 13, and I'm gonna prove that again. But anyways, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys want to see down in the comment section. If you have any questions, if you guys want to know anything about the D810, the lenses I use, whatever the case is, comment down below. But until next time, Keep shooting, stay blessed, we out.